The subcompact SUV segment is red hot. Always popular, now it has more players than ever. There are 7 cars already and at least 2 more coming within the next 6 months. One of the latest to join the party is this wild thing, the Kia Sonet, and boy is it shaking things up. It was early 2019 when the Mahindra XUV 300 arrived and mid-year when the Hyundai Venue drove in. And we had 2 shootouts with both those arrivals, and each of those cars won them respectively. But the Ford EcoSport, while the oldest of the lot, remains extremely competitive and relevant. The Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza ditched diesel and now has just the K-Series petrol engine, but unlike the past, now gets an auto, not an AMT. The Tata Nexon is refreshed, was India's first 5-star crash-rated car until the XUV 300 overtook its crash test score. And then there are the Korean duo, including that brand new and very hot Kia Sonet. The Sonet joins a segment where most players have been strong in their own right and successful too, and yet the Sonet is off to a blockbuster beginning. Over 30,000 booked already. The even newer entrant is the Toyota Urban Cruiser, that is essentially a Vitara Brezza in mechanical and performance terms, and most of its design too. Like the Brezza, it does offer a mild hybrid on the automatic. So this is the segment Creator. It's also really dynamic to drive and surprisingly contemporary even now. By far the best seller. I mean, there should be a different word for it. This car has just run away with the market, and you know what? Ever since it went petrol only, things are starting to catch up when it comes to its monthly sales. Then you got this car. A lot of people are still curious about it. You still don't see that many on the road, but it's been a big success for Mahindra, and it is now India's safest car. It's got that tag from Global NCAP with the highest safety rating on crash tests. The Hyundai Venue, as you saw there, was our last champion in this segment for obvious reasons, very well loaded, and it's a recipe that seems to have not just been followed by Kia, but almost enhanced in some ways. Does the Sonet then naturally become the new segment best? Maybe not. For that, I need to get into a lot of details, and for that, I need some help. All right, gentlemen, hello.
Hi, Siddharth.
Hi, Kingshuk. Hey, Shams.
Hi, Siddharth.
All right, so we're going to do this in our usual car and bike style, which means we break things up for you. And what are you going to take on then, Kingshuk?
So I think I'll do a deep dive into the technology part of it. Some SUVs are connected, some are not. So that's a very interesting aspect.
There is a lot to talk about there for sure. Shams, what about you?
Well, subcompact SUVs, small cabins, I really want to know which one of them all is the most comfortable and of course which has the best features.
That's right, all of these cars are loaded to the gills. There is so much to take you through. I'll also tell you about the driving performance. Let's go straight into it. Yup, so we have the main contenders here. Tata did not give us a Nexon, though we tried hard to get one, and nor did Toyota have the new Urban Cruiser ready for us in time. On looks, all cars are pretty attractive. The EcoSport has become edgier with the S variant and the facelift that it received several months ago. It is the only one with a spare wheel mounted on the tailgate and has a side opening boot door, which isn't very convenient. The Vitara Brezza looks a little bigger now since it has had its makeover with its reworked face and is still the most typical SUV proportion of the lot. The XUV 300 is over-styled in its face and looks truncated at the rear, but the lighting treatment is nice front and back. The Venue carries Hyundai's new modern design language and even gets a sport variant now with a black grille. And the Sonet is the one with drop-dead gorgeous looks, superb stance and muscular proportion. It certainly looks the most modern and has two trim lines. With us today is the GT line. We will get straight into driving, and I will begin with the old champ and pioneer, the Ford EcoSport. It's ditched most of its engine options that it used to have in the past and now has just the 1.5-litre 3-cylinder petrol and 4-cylinder diesel. It's truly amazing that despite being the oldest car in this segment, the EcoSport still feels fairly contemporary. It feels really fun to drive still. The irony here though is that it was the car that started off this excitement around having this powerful, fun, spunky little turbocharged petrol, the EcoBoost engine. Well, it's gone now, we don't get it anymore, just when everybody else seems to be offering one. Now the ride quality and handling on the EcoSport were always its two big strengths. Luckily, those strengths are intact. The EcoSport still remains a compelling buy then. Now onto the mighty Vitara Brezza. It now gets the 1.5-litre K15B motor, is a 5-speed, while the Auto is a 4-speed. Now the previous diesel Vitara Brezza always felt a little bit punchier, but I have to say the petrol still works. You've got a really refined engine, but all of that just gets completely killed by this 4-speed automatic. I mean, why would you put a 4-speed in this day and age? It just makes you feel so antiquated having to drive like that. There's hardly any response from it. It certainly doesn't give you a sporty sort of a sensation, and just kind of dulls out the car, makes everything soft. The ride quality is soft, the steering is soft, the braking's kind of soft too. So on the whole, it's a very pleasant car to drive. It's nice in the city for sure, but just doesn't give you any feels. That said, the AT claims a mileage of 18.76 kilometers per litre, while on the manual it is 17.03. Maruti says that is on account of the mild hybrid that just the automatic gets. The Toyota Urban Cruiser has the same mechanicals. The XUV 300 has the tag of India's safest car. That's pretty special. It's also been a previous winner here, remember. Now in our last comparison, the reason why the XUV 300 had emerged on top, it's because of its sporty performance. The car handles really well. It's really nice in terms of its steering. The ride quality is not too bad either, and so it just kind of comes together as a nice driver's car in this space. But you take all that attribute, the fact that you feel like you're driving a bigger car as well, because it is a bigger car. I mean, the inside is bigger, the lighter palette certainly helps that, and don't forget, it's a bigger car that's been kind of shortened. So you take all those advantages away when you put in an AMT. Now I get it, at the time when Mahindra made this decision, the AMT route seemed like the smart thing to do, but think about it. Now you've got such modern gearboxes in this segment. Really, an AMT is just too boring. Yes, it does the job in city traffic, but really it does nothing else. And this car is screaming for a nice torque converter on the diesel side, and dare I say, a dual clutch on the petrol side. Yes, as AMTs go, it's not a bad one to drive, but it would become way better if it had a proper auto, which is what you would find in the Hyundai Venue, but only on the 1-litre turbo petrol that gets a dual clutch gearbox. The 1.2 petrol and the 1.5 diesel get no auto. Of all the cars I've been driving today, the Venue feels the most car-like. It's the least SUV-like in its feel. And that is a huge negative for it, because people buying into this segment really want to buy into that whole SUV experience, and this takes it away. But that's the only chink really, because that one big negative is overturned by many more positives. And as I had said last year while I drove this car for the first time, it's the overall strength in its ride and handling that really wins the day for the Venue. I mean, it's sporty, it's fun, it's refined, and then you just add in that 1 liter turbo GDI engine, marry it to the 7-speed DCT, and you know, it's a completely different world. It's responsive, it's fun. At the higher end, it even gives you paddle shifts. What's not to like? Yes, the Venue seemed to cover it all. That is, until the Sonet came along. This car has the maximum drivetrain options. Okay, finally, time to drive the newbie. Now, I'll tell you what, on paper, this car is an absolute winner. It's got everything you can think of. It's modern, it's contemporary, and it's got the most engine and gearbox options in the segment. I mean, gearboxes, wow, definitely the most options. And what's nice is that they're all modern, contemporary, new technology options. We're not really talking about anything that's sort of boring and antiquated, barring, well, you could argue the 1.2 petrol engine that's in there for price tag reasons. But outside of that, the car comes across as extremely fun and modern. So what's the problem? Well, there's no problem as such, but there is one Achilles heel, something I mentioned during my review as well, and that is that because you have this exaggerated height to give you that SUV feel, which by the way people are going to love, it takes away from the ride quality. It's a little bit bumpy, it's not as sorted, and it definitely hurts the car's handling. It's not nearly as sporty as the Venue, and definitely not as sporty as the XUV 300. So the Sonet has a weakness, but one that most buyers wouldn't fuss about too much. From the end user perspective, it does very well. It also gives you a diesel automatic with a torque converter gearbox that's credible and fun to drive. Now, let's duck inside with Shams. The cars are all similar sized and offer reasonably similar cabin space, but one stands out.
You will realize that amongst all these cars, the most comfortable second row is in the XUV 300. I'm surprised because I'm getting amazing thigh support here. This seat is quite big, and despite that, the knee room is not bad at all. Headroom as well, quite convincing. I have a center armrest as well, and then overall I feel quite comfortable sitting here on the second row of this sub 4 meter SUV. The only drawback for me here is the missing AC vents. If they were there, would have been the perfect place for me, the second row of the XUV 300.
The XUV 300 also has a 3-point seat belt for the middle passenger. All others get only a lap belt. Yes, most of the others get rear AC vents, but the subcompact footprint is small enough that even the front vents will cool the entire cabin reasonably effectively. But buyers in this segment seldom sit at the rear, so what of the features?
If it is a sheer number of features we're talking about, it is very difficult to beat the Sonet in this segment. It is the newest car here and therefore gets updated with all the modern tech and gadgetry you can think of getting in a segment like this. So the list is long. It gets a 10.25-inch touchscreen, not seen in any other car in this segment. It gets a nice Bose surround sound system. You also get a wireless phone charger. We've seen that in the Venue, but here it also gets a cooling function for your phone. And finally also have an air purifier, which again we've seen in the Venue, but this one gets virus protection, something that's really important in today's times. Apart from that, you have the regular tech line variants, but you also have this special GT line variant that comes with a black cabin and a lot of red inserts at a lot of places inside the car.
The Sonet also gets front seat ventilation, steering mounted controls, a sunroof and tire pressure monitoring. Most of these features are only in the top variants, of course. It is a very similar story on the Venue, but the Vitara Brezza seems Spartan by comparison.
Earlier we spoke about how the design of the EcoSport is still likable even after so many years, and we can say the same for the cabin as well. Lot of elements here that you appreciate inside this car. I love the touchscreen system on the car. It's very clear and very easy to use as well. This is of course the S variant of the car, so it gets these accents here, and it gets a sunroof as well. Though when you compare it to other cars in the segment, the sunroof, the size of the sunroof is not as big, and you would probably want a bigger sunroof if you want a sunroof at all in your car. A big highlight here is the steering wheel. The only car amongst all the cars we've got today that also gets a telescopic adjustment along with tilt adjustment. So that's very nice.
Yes, the EcoSport comes from the brand that began the touchscreen and phone connectivity revolution in India in many ways. The car's sync system is only available on the very top specs though. All that works through an 8-inch screen and gives you Apple CarPlay, etc. The mid trims get a 9-inch screen, but it does not get those smartphone hookups, just Bluetooth connectivity. The Mahindra XUV 300 is surprisingly well loaded, and while the interface is a tad cheesy, it all works. There is a dual zone climate control system besides the 7-inch touchscreen and smartphone connectivity options, tire pressure monitoring and reverse camera.
So the Kia Sonet is ridiculously loaded with technology, yes. Starting off with this massive 10.25-inch touchscreen, it is high definition, has a very good feel to it. Also, this is a connected car, it gets Kia's Yuvo Connect technology. You pair your smartphone to the car and you get over 50 connected car features. And the piece de resistance, this key right here. What you can do with this key is you can hold on to this button for like 15 to 20 seconds, and the car, when it is shut off, it will start the engine, pre-cool the cabin, the AC comes on by itself, and you walk into a really nice cooled cabin. That's a good feature to have. Also, if you want to know about all these details, refer to our YouTube channel where we have the comprehensive Kia Sonet review. It's on youtube.com/car&bike.
That massive touchscreen is only in the high-end variant. The mid-trims get an 8-inch screen similar to the Venues. In fact, on tech, connectivity and embedded SIM-based internet telematics and remote functionality, the Venue and Sonet are very similar. The Venue does get a 60-40 split rear seat bench and a cooled glove box at the top end, besides those paddle shifters on the DCT top spec that I mentioned.
So, we are inside the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza. This is the facelift model and it was launched in February this year at the Auto Expo. And as far as technology is concerned, this car does come up short if you compare the technology features to the likes of say the Sonet or the Hyundai Venue. There is a touchscreen infotainment system which is called Smart Play. It is 7 inches across and it gets Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and once you pair your phone to the system, it will show you live traffic updates as well.
On safety, all cars do fairly well. They each have dual airbags, seatbelt reminders and ABS or anti-lock braking as standard. The EcoSport, Sonet and Venue each get 6 airbags at the top end, while the XUV impresses with 7 airbags to match its safest car tag. The Vitara Brezza gets just the 2 across the range. And I must mention that while we have good crash results for the XUV 300, Vitara Brezza, EcoSport and even the Nexon of course, there have been no crash tests carried out on the Indian-made Venue or Sonet as yet. So it's almost verdict time, but I have to quickly acknowledge we do not have the new Toyota Urban Cruiser here with us, but we kind of do. And we don't have the Tata Nexon here. We tried hard, we get points for trying, but you know what? It didn't win the last shootout, so I'm not too fussed about it. We do have the formidable new Kia Sonet here. And guys, tossing to you first, Kingshuk, the department you were checking out, which was the tech space, who's ahead?
Without a shadow of doubt, it has to be the Kia Sonet. I mean, it just takes the cake. Like the Yuvo Connect technology, the connected car features, and so on and so forth. It's like packed with technology. So yes, it is head and shoulders ahead.
And also at some of the mid variants as well, you still get a fair amount. What about you on comfort and on features other than tech?
Siddharth, 6 feet tall here. I look for as much space as possible inside smaller cars especially, and there the XUV 300 clearly scores high because I have felt very comfortable, especially sitting on the second row of the vehicle. In terms of features, of course, I think very difficult to go past the Sonet, the newest car in the segment, loaded.
All right, so you know what, it starts to gravitate in terms of performance. You've already heard what I had to say. Yes, the XUV 300 and especially the Venue score really high. The Sonet on paper is strong but does fall back just a little bit, yet certainly looks like the best all-round package. But hold on a second, before any verdict, we have to
Prices. We have to tell you
declare
about the prices.
Yes, all important prices. Quick look at that before the verdict can happen. Prices are more or less in that 6,70,000 to 13 lakh band. The EcoSport maintains its value tag, but we cannot call these prices aggressive, and the number of variants have drastically reduced over the years. The Vitara Brezza looks well priced and is the reason why it remains a big seller for Maruti Suzuki. India's safest? Sure. Roomiest too, but that is why the XUV 300 is not the cheapest by far. Its lack of auto options shows up here too. The Hyundai Venue seems to walk the tightrope on value and offerings by giving a fairly wide price spread, yet topping off well below the Sonet, which starts the lowest but really defies gravity thereafter, with wide pricing gaps in between variants. That said, the mid and up variants are very well loaded. So even though the base variant of the Sonet starts the lowest, it does end up becoming very pricey proposition as you start to go up. Yes, you get more for your buck as you go through those variants, but a good balance of tech, comfort, features, and most important for me, drivability. The Hyundai Venue, which was our last winner, remains our subcompact SUV winner. Yes, the Kia Sonet is a very close second, and so choosing it is still a wise bet, especially if good looks, loads of features and the novelty factor are important to you. The Mahindra XUV 300 and Ford EcoSport bring up the rear in that order.